Well, it's called to order the Manistee Harbor Commission on October 18th, 2022.
I'll make a motion we approve the agenda as presented.
I would second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried.
I've had a chance to review the minutes, and I move that they stand as recorded.
I'll second that.
Aye.
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 Motion carried.
Let's take a look at, talk about unfinished business, the Marina marketing plan.
So we received the drone footage from MS Creative. I've watched part of it. I haven't watched all of it. But according to Mark Sandstead, all of that video footage can be used for obviously video clips, but it can also be used for stills. They can, take a particular frame and just screenshot that and use that in marketing materials in the future. So we expended the current budget line item, and over the winter, I think we need to continue to look for additional funding and then look for how to use those materials in future marketing for the Marina.
Was he able to catch it when it seemed pretty busy?
Yeah.
A lot of activity?
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, it looks good. So I've got it, I don't know if you want me to email that out to you guys to look at if you'd be interested.
Sure. Please. Anything further on the Marina, other than the patio?
On the drone, that's the only update I have.
And written materials? I guess that's the.
I think that's the stuff that Ty had pointed out and Kelly had sent it out to everybody.
I don't know how she handled it before because it's happened lots of times.
That's what I thought.
Took it off or didn't include it, so I'm not sure.
Have you received much input on the written material?
Just what I had emailed out to you, and so that was just George and Mary Lou's information.
Okay.
So, I can't remember if Ty, he may have given us a summary email, but he was the one with it, but that was where those two had sent that information.
Okay, well, thanks. How about the patio? Where do we stand on that?
So we have excavated out all the topsoil at the patio. The drainage system that had been installed several years ago was, due to installation issues, was not functioning well. So my staff repiped it and then put an outflow through the wall out to the river. So that's in place. We have the bedding stone, we have the brick pavers. We're just waiting for a little break in the weather and we'll be finishing that up. So it'll be ready for spring.
The roof drains from the Marina, do they go through that as well? From the building itself?
I believe on that portion of the building, there was some flooding issues in that corner of the building. So there were gutters that were installed on the lowest roof eave and were piped down. And then a 55-gallon drum was buried and the drains were piped to it. That just simply is perforated and leaches into the soil. but the pipe connections were separated,
Right.
so not a lot of the water was reaching it. But now we've fixed that piping, and we've put an outlet from that barrel out to the river. So it goes below the sidewalk and through the bulkhead, concrete bulkhead wall.
Is it above the river level presently?
Yes.
It's probably draining right now.
Yeah. So it's all prepped. We just need to take the final step. We're gonna put fabric down, the bedding stone, and then the pavers. We also cut and capped the irrigation that was in that area as well.
This may edge into Parks and Rec business, but, you know, a lot of cleanup work was done down in the park adjacent to the Marina there. And they were hoping a lot of pruning would occur this fall as the leaves came down. Do you know if that's
We did some of it already,
did?
and then the Parks Commission had their annual tour last Thursday, and we discussed it at that time that there's still some more that we're gonna do.
Okay. Do you envision being, as you drive down River Street, say, well, going west, do you envision being able to see most of the marina, the docks, the channel?
I'm not sure.
Sure. I would think that would be a good thing, as I envision it. But,
I think there's a large tree there too that DPW is planning to take out. It's a dead one. And when the ground gets a little harder, that's kind of something Brandon was talking about, so.
great.
And then also I don't know if I talked to Jeff about this, but the DDA approved some landscaping around where the shuffleball courts are.
Okay.
Shuffleboard. So I think they approved about 11,000, so I'm not sure if that'll be in the spring or if they're gonna be able to get to it this year, but just kind of that top area, so.
Excellent. It's quite the extensive little park. It really doesn't get heavily used at present.
It gets a lot of use.
It's on, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I go by there frequently. So,
Definitely get a lot of use during hops and props. It was nice to
yes.
see all the people there.
success. Okay, moving on to reports from the harbor master.
I think you skipped the South Breakwater. I don't know if Jeff.
Oh, I'm
wanted-
sorry, yes.
So, construction's progressing there. They've got some sheet piling installed. I can see they've got, working on their tiebacks. Certainly this weather keeps them off of the lake. I've got a progress meeting with the contractor and the Corps of Engineers tomorrow, if I'm able to attend, but I'm sure that, well, I know that the project will be carried out over into the spring to do the final concrete caps and so forth. But the timing of it's worked out well because it hasn't really interfered with recreational use, so,
You envision the equipment being stored here over the winter?
yeah.
Okay. Will it be in on the lake, or do you have any idea?
As far as the barges and stuff, that I'm not sure, but I'm sure that the upland stuff will stay.
I really haven't heard any complaints about it interfering with anything. No,
I haven't either.
that's fortunate. A boat, well, harbor master, sorry.
So, really not a whole lot to report. The boat launches, when the weather started dipping down into the low 40s, a couple weeks ago, we shut down the pay stations at Arthur Street and First Street. We will begin pulling some of the skid piers. We try to leave in at least one or two till the ramp starts icing up. Really just kind of closing things down. The city marina closed, I think it was 3 weeks ago now. We do have a boat in the harbor that's tied up to the Riverwalk that is still making the loop. And when they entered the Manistee harbor, they took a rogue wave that took off their their stern platform, and they lost their dinghy. I was told today they recovered their dinghy. But we're going to fuel them up this week so that they can continue on their way. Pretty late in the year for such activity. Also, I guess the bridges by federal mandate will continue to be manned 7 days a week, 16 hours a day until October 31st, and then it'll be open by demand only with a 24-hour notice. So,
Is the Princess, I saw it out just a couple days ago. Is it still?
so as far as we know, the Princess plans to stay moored along the Riverwalk through the winter. Last year, Al Arkinson, who's the owner, put in some bubblers along the seawall for a short period of time to see if he could keep that open, and felt that he could. So we are working out an agreement with him to pay for winter storage and help the city recoup the electrical costs from it. But I think we're proposing $1,000 charge for that. It cost him over $4,000 to take it down to Grand Haven and have it hold. So,
It's going all the way to Grand Haven, yeah.
Sounds like a win-win. How's our boat launch done this year?
So I believe these are the final numbers. It looks like seasonal permits, we had 487. We had that $5 increase for seasonals, and we had $23,070, the total amount collected, which is highest since 2018. And we had 1,765 daily permits issued, so it led to 17,655. So we had a total combined 40,725 in boat launch revenue, which is better than we've had, it looks like, ever. Yeah.
Ever.
So that's good news. Yeah, it looks like the seasonal permits about the same as last year, 487, 492 last year, but that $5 increase, which led us to additional revenue over last year. So yeah, I think with the marketing, I think we'll have potentially more as well. And you said there's a half payment, so we had 0.5, and that's, I guess I'm not sure how a half payment works, but
Well, they can, on the Arthur Street, you know, it's envelopes, so they can put money in and not have it all in there.
it's more of the honor system.
Right.
okay.
Well, that's great.
The difference could have been a tip too.
True, it could have been 5 more.
There's no funding in there for parties, are there? No, good. Good. You know where that leads. Okay. I see our annual report date has changed.
Yes. Does that work better for you?
Yes,
Okay, all right. So that's something you guys work on together, and
we will have to. No? Yes. Okay. Vacation shortly. As soon as I get back, I'll be in touch.
All right, sounds good.
I see our calendar for next year. That's great.
Okay.
Thank you.
I would just need a vote on it, a motion and,
So our next meeting date is the 17th of January. Is that correct? That suit everybody? So we'll look at, hopefully we'll have some ideas for potential funding
For marketing, yeah.
for marketing. Do we need any additional input from Mark at that point?
I will seek out his input once we establish some funding.
Okay.
And if we do get funded, then we can, I can invite him to that, whatever next meeting is.
And he may have some idea what he could do with what we might have.
Sure.
Okay.
So I would make a motion that we adopt the 2023 calendar for Harbor Commission meetings.
I'll second it.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed?
Aye.
Kelly?
yes, thank you.
We could certainly use additional input on this commission. We have 2 or 3 empty seats. 2,
I believe two.
I think. Is anyone aware of anyone who may be interested?
We'll continue to.
People we know are all,
I don't remember what the bylaws say. Do you recall what the,
I think we can have one non-resident.
has to own
Yeah.
property.
You have to have a
Even if
bus-
they're not a resident or something.
Yeah, you have to own property or a business in the city.
2 can be that, and then the rest have to be residents, I think. I saw 3 openings in the paper, applications.
What about some of the people that have businesses on River Street? Do they ever consider being on the committee that have, or they don't really care because they have their own backs to worry about?
I would think they would care. They may, I'm thinking about some of the fishing skippers.
Yeah.
They may operate, their business may be their own, I don't know. As far as their business address. Probably a lot of them are. Have any contact there, but,
we can make that a point of the presentation to council. And then, usually those comments will get picked up into the paper, and maybe we can roll that into a little story that we're just looking for interested.
from different perspectives.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have people who do a lot of boating, people who live along the channel, people who work on it. Certainly, that industry is vital to the city.
Well, and that, the harbor defines us, so.
That's
Yeah.
why we're here. Okay. Any comments?
That was a question I was gonna ask. How big of a boat or ship can you accommodate there on the river in the municipal, lengthwise? What's the Princess, 40 feet? 30?
Oh, more.
It becomes more of the width of the boat, so it doesn't interfere with the federal channel.
Only because there's a company out there doing Lake Michigan cruises that doesn't stop here, and I thought it would be a great place. They go to Duluth, Muskegon, Chicago, Milwaukee, the island, the other side on Huron, they're all over the place. So I thought I'd send them an email and see what size ships they have or boats. Throw it out there anyway.
Yeah, there was a couple that came in here quite often for quite a few years,
Do cruises.
cruises. And I remember through the chamber, they'd have the Victorian people dressed up and greet them as they departed. or disembarked. Probably 4 years ago, 5 years ago, there was a Gulf cruise ship that was courting us. And we were trying to find the right location for them. That vessel was too big to put on the Riverwalk. But what they do is they're traveling the Great Lakes and hitting some of the world-class golf courses. And, they'd have 200 passengers that would disembark and get shuttled up to the courses. And I'm not sure what happened with that, but yeah, we've had quite a few discussions about
Interesting.
trying to get them back.
It was in one of the magazines when we were putting our sailboat away over at the harbor, or the Marina, over there, the boat yard. I thought it was worth a try.
Mm-hmm.
I may be wrong, but I think it was the American Cruise Lines
Yeah,
that used to stop here. They even coordinated, they'd park out on the stub pier, I think, and then steam into town. When the town was ready for them, the Calliope would be out there, and people, as he said, dressed in Victorian costumes. Stores would be open,
Yeah.
and a lot of people got on buses, perhaps to go to the casino and such.
How long ago was that, when that happened?
I had to have stopped a good 5 years ago.
It's been more than that. Yeah. It's probably in the 10 years ago, at least.
so whatever the width of the Princess, that's probably about the max.
No, I think we can do bigger vessels than that. I mean, I can take some measurements and let you know.
Yeah, I'd be curious.
I wonder if they have criteria too that they need, like,
Who does?
the cruise lines.
Okay.
The way I understood it with the ones that used to come in, it was more of they just need things for everybody to do
Yeah.
to make that a viable stop. So certainly I think we would be competitive on that.
Duluth. Muskegon. There's things to do there too.
Muskegon has quite a few.
Yeah.
When I was on the chamber board, we had our kind of an annual thing down in the city of Muskegon. That was probably 3-4 years ago, and we met with their chamber director, and
Yeah.
I think they had 10 different ships that came in every year. It was quite a bit. But they had a nice tea dock that was very,
Yeah, ready for them.
very, very useful.
Do you think the presence of the Princess would preclude the cruise line from
I
fitting
don't
there?
know.
Do not. Okay. Is Frankfurt closer to Arcadia Bluffs than we are?
Yes.
Quite a bit, or?
Just as far as traveling by land,
Yes.
it's probably 10 versus 20 minutes, probably half as close.
Worth looking into. It'd be
Yeah.
nice to have them back.
I mean, I don't think we've lost any attractions. I think if anything, we've added stuff. A little bit more diversification in restaurants. Downtown is pretty full. You've got the brewery, you've got the casino, there's golfing options. But I don't think they come in for 8 hours or anything. It's a 3-4 hour stop and move on, I believe, but I'm not sure. And I'm sure each one is a little different,
Okay.
but yeah, that'd be something we should look into.
I'll try and talk to the American Cruise Lines to see if they're using the same boats, if it was them, why they stopped. Okay, anything else?
No,
If not, I would
I'll just mention one thing, the Origins Walk over on First Street. If anyone's been out there, it's right by the launch. So they did a really good job. They did a ribbon cutting or dedication, and they did a really good job, and the DPW helped install them. But a lot of effort and time went into it, so.
And it's permanent, right?
Yep. And they did buy replacement signs too, so if those get damaged, and
Do you know
Getting
if,
the wind test right now.
yeah, we'll see how they stand, yeah.
I am looking for some weight for my shed. But anyway, do you know if the Welcome Center still has the booklets that go with the Origins Walk?
I would think the Visitors Bureau does still have them, so they did an excellent job on that, Mark Federer and
They-
I'm pretty sure they still have them because the chair of the Parks Commission was able to get some last week to bring to the Parks Tour on last Thursday. So.
Good.
And I agree with Bill, that's very well put together.
Well, then I move that we adjourn.
Second.
I'm certainly in favor.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you.
Thanks, everybody.